Welcome to our code review, and in this lesson I'm going to be going through the entire game, the whole application, all of the source code, so that this will give you a better idea. So this is an overview of all of the previous lessons and how this game is going to function. So the objective of the game when we started out was essentially to create a blackjack game that could be run within HTML using JavaScript as the logic engine and then adding in some CSS to make it more interactive and appealing. So the way that we started this game out is that we took a look at how we wanted the user to come and interact with the game. So we had our blackjack game, so we identified what it is, what page they're looking at, and we've got some instructions here that we're passing over to the user. So press start button, and then we've got our start button here. So this is how the user enters the game. They click the start button, and they've got a total amount of money, which they start out with $100. They've got a default bet of 5. And once we enter the gameplay, we don't want the user to have the ability to make adjustments to the bet because that wouldn't be fair. So those max bet and the input field are locked out. So what happens in blackjack? It's a game between the player and the dealer. The dealer has 2 cards, the player has 2 cards. We hide one of the dealer's cards, we show one of the dealer's cards, and we give the player the ability to make some choices here within the interaction. So the objective is to try to get to 21 without going over 21, or to try to get a higher value of your cards than the dealer gets. And jacks, queens, kings are all worth 10. Aces can be 1 or 11. So essentially that's a quick summary of blackjack. So we've got an option to either hold where we are, we can hit, which gives us another card, or we could double, which gives us another card and ends the gameplay. So let's do a hit here, and we can see that we increase our value from 13 to 19 with a 6, and 19 is getting pretty close to 21, and I think that's a pretty good amount to hold at. So we hit hold, and we see that the dealer ended up with 21, so we ended up losing our bet. So now we have an opportunity before we deal the next set of cards that we can increase our bet. So we can add some strategy, and this is another part of blackjack, is this betting where you can really strategize your bets. So even if you lose one hand, you can bet higher on the other one to make up for your losses, and so on. There's a whole bunch of theories to blackjack, and it's a really interactive game. Next, we've got a bet amount of 10, and we're ready to deal it out. So this is essentially the gameplay in blackjack. So I'm going to hold it there. The dealer won again, so I won that. I lost that $10, so now I'm down 15 from my total of 100 that I started out at. And essentially this is it to the gameplay of blackjack. You just try to make as much money as possible over your starting money, applying some strategy with the cards. And the really nice thing about the way that we've set this game up is that the cards work off of an array. So if you're actually looking at the cards, there are some card counting theories within blackjack where you can take the lower numbers, and if you've got a lot of cards that have shown up as low numbers, then it's within your favor, and then you could bet higher and so on. So there's some really cool things that you can do with this application. So the next lesson we're going to run through, so now that we've gone through the gameplay and we've met all of our criteria for a blackjack game, next lesson we're going to run through all of the source code, clean it up a little bit, place this code into separate style sheets and source code, and finish up the game, finish up this application. Do a full review of all of the code that we've written in the previous lesson. So that's coming up.